Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. Ready to get moving on the next attempt here to make some progress on the farm. As you can see, it's June. I am going to go ahead and we are going to get the north field fertilized. So the intent is obviously to be as fully prepared as possible, spread the work out as much as possible. So this field should not require a plowing to be done before we plant wheat because of the fact that canola was placed on it earlier. So we will go ahead. I'm just getting the GPS ready. Probably none too soon, given that I can't obviously run a straight line here. So anyway, gonna get going on this. I snapped the line to the direction I'm going, which doesn't help because I don't necessarily want to. Well, actually, I guess it would work. Alright, we'll move along, we'll see how this goes. So I guess there's nothing that says it has to go at a 90-degree angle. Although I'm a little concerned this is going to run off the edge of the field here. But I guess we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it looks like at this point it's going to move over. Just make sure we're again not surprised in any way. I need to get rid of the weeds. But yes, we are getting, in fact, a run of fertilization. But this will give us a nice line. And we don't have any weeds growing in the corn, which is, of course, a pleasing thing. Because who would want weeds in their corn? But no, all kidding aside, I'm just still trying to understand the mechanisms that work in FS22 with regards to that. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this done here. I probably will have to change what I do once I get north of the island. And we may also have a few pieces that we're going to need to touch up here, because obviously after or before I snapped the line, this was moved over a bit. So we'll see how this all plays out. But we're overcoating with fertilizer where we had spread that excess lime that we could not fit in our silo. So hopefully I'm starting to get to the point where I understand my ability to hold things. My biggest issue is going to be, obviously, how do I refill the fertilizer in the liquid tanks, since I can't bring full pieces to bear. So it looks like we've got a couple points there that are already fertilized to the second level. Oh, this is actually going better than I expected. If there is anything left, it's going to be that one piece there, but it's possible. It's going to be really close. It's possible it might actually fall within what I've got here. And so then the question becomes, is it worth it if I've got just a very tiny piece that isn't covered? Is it worth it to worry about it? Looks like we're actually getting everything. And if we get to this point here, yep, now we will finish appropriately. So, excellent. So we're getting a little bit of extra spray here, but that's all right. It's not a substantial amount. So we can see fields of green up there. Swede's got his crop growing. I'm not actually sure what everybody's chosen to plant. I think Bryce let me know on field 20. I think he was ultimately going to go with soybeans. For a while he was debating doing corn as well, but then decided that he may not do that. So if we take a look here, let's see. We've got sunflowers. Oh, sunflowers must have been what was planted on 39 as well. So sunflowers, and I don't know if he's planted canola up there, because last I checked, I think 21 was unplanted. So let me see. Yeah, it's still withered, so I think he just did this field and is going to leave that one, whether it's for another year, or he may be doing something like I'm doing, where he's planting something in the spring and then we'll plant something else there in the fall and keep things a bit different. So it doesn't appear right now, I've not seen any evidence of anybody doing anything with animals. So that is harvested. His is growing. His is growing. So it looks like we've got 3 fields growing right now. Nobody else is doing things. So yeah, I've still got some time. So let me take a look. Did he in fact do soybeans, or no? I guess he did corn. So he must have changed his mind. So I'm in the process of plowing 14 and 15 as well. You can see the FSN tractor there. Got a good portion of it done the one day I worked on it, but then I haven't gotten back to it. So, you know, definitely a lot of options available to us, but I think everyone's trying to find their footing and what they really are capable of doing and want to be doing. You know, and chatting a little bit with Bryce the other day when he was on, he may be buying one other big field, and then, you know, that would kind of be the extent of what he was doing at this point. Some of it is money, time. We all talked about the fact we've advertised for contractors at times. I think all of us have done it at this point, and it's just been, frankly, very, very difficult to get anything, and certainly impossible to get anything resembling field hands, which would be consistent contractors that we could count on. So, you know, we're kind of therefore reliant on the fact that we've got to be able to handle the work ourselves. That's always a prudent thing to do, but it is a little disappointing that we can't have enough of a flow of folks in and interested in participating, that maybe either aren't jumping to the FM role, you know, or that would be looking to basically, because what I was hoping might be happening is you may have some people who just don't want to be FMs, but have a little bit of interest in periodically, or at least somewhat, staying involved in the farming and farming simulator, and so they wouldn't become FMs, they would heavily participate in entrepreneurs. But I was hoping the dynamic would be created that would then suddenly create a sustained contractor force, but that doesn't appear to be the case. Because when we've run ads, in my case, they've just really not been responded to. I ran, I think, 2 weeks. I paid for, you can pay for it with bales, and then basically they show up on the Discord server every few hours, I think. And obviously people aren't looking. So with that in mind, I certainly have no additional plans for anything. I know, you know, the conversation kind of came up because at one point Bryce had 10 or 12 contractors, and he was running hundreds of heads of cattle, many fields. So to do that, you really need contractors to help you out, because you basically need somebody working on the farm almost all the time, and it just hasn't been something that's worked out. I know some groups, I think I've said this in other episodes when we early talked about FSN, there have been people that have had thousands of acres, and really just basically they were worked almost constantly by contractors, but I don't know if that's still ongoing with some of the folks who have been around longer or not, or if they've really shifted their focus elsewhere. So, yeah, definitely, it shouldn't take a terribly long amount of time to get this completed. I'm going to obviously have one more partial pass here on this side of the island, and then we'll have to kind of figure out what's happening. But as we did with the previous episode with this, I'm going to switch this to a time lapse for you, and I will see you when I am done.
There's nobody else better than me around. You know I'm the type to stand out in a crowd. You might be jealous, but I can't help it now. I'm like a diamond, can't stop me from shining bright. People stop and stare when I am in the sight. I look expensive, yeah, they all want this life. So here I am, look everyone, watch out for me, I'll be the one you want. I'll blow your mind, take you away. You know that there is no way I would change. Oh, everybody looks at me wherever I go. They all know that I love the attention and taking control. Watch out for me now, you know I'm ready now. I'm hot as fire, take things higher, yeah, I shut it down. Oh, everybody looks at me wherever I go. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. Look out for me, watch out for me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. All eyes on me.
Well, goodness me, I've had lots of talking that I was doing while I was muted. So, in any event, I'll probably just eliminate what I was going through, but I guess obviously I'll fill you in on what you're seeing here. So this is our new planter, Seed Hawk. They've got some options that we didn't have in FS22. You could have set it up as a toe between or toe behind for the supply cart. I've gone ahead with the toe between, which is what I'm used to anyway, I think. I don't know, maybe you were able to do that. I wasn't familiar of that being the setup in the other thing, but you also could not buy the conveyor. I just don't know if in my silos at the farm if it's going to be workable, but we'll see. So let's see what we've got. So this thing has a capacity of 21,800 liters in total. All right. I assume. Alright, so I can do seeds or fert. So I'm going to do more seeds. Oh, wait. Because it doesn't look like, so basically I could just seed and then fertilize, but that doesn't make any sense, because I thought, let's see, about here. Okay, so that has to be seed. Alright, I'm gonna have to come back and pick this stuff up. So, like, what if I... Ooh, that's not good. Alright, Alright, so let me do this. Alright. And then if I go here, I go back to this part, the bigger part. So it, like, doesn't give me a choice on the front. But, alright, so let me do solid fert back here. I'm just curious how this is all gonna flow. Because I think if I can do the first two compartments with seed, and then this with fertilizer, that will be relatively equal. Alright, so let me see if I pull away so that I'm not under this. Whoops. Hence some of the problems I was worried about. So this could get lots of fun, lots of fun. Let's see. So I was gonna say, now my wheels are stuck. This is terrific. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. Alright, I'll get unstuck. So, I'm free. I have everything I can be picked up. So, I'm going to have to come back with my auger and get the remaining seed. Or I suppose I could do it with my truck. That might be the easiest thing and the fastest thing. I'll have to just make sure. Trying to remember if I can carry seed. I'm sure I can in one of the trucks, so I'll just have to take a look. But yeah, this is interesting because there wasn't this much flexibility with the Seed Hawk, at least not that I remember in FS19. You had a compartment for seeds, you had a compartment for, and you may have had 3 compartments, but basically, like, it just filled it with what you needed. It looks like I can fill this entire thing with fertilizer if I wanted. Or not fertilizer. I don't know why I'd want to fill it with seed. Ooh. That could have turned ugly. I didn't think that was going to be a problem going over the bridge, but I'm coming to take a look at my corn while I'm out here, because I was kind of wondering. I know it's growing. Still little tiny corn plants. We've got a ways for it to grow yet. I'm frankly concerned if I'm going to be able to fit this in my yard. This could get really ugly really fast. I hope not. So, because I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I've got the shed. I know I can eventually get it in there, but I need to get to the shed. I think I'm okay here. Let me look, because I do need to turn. So, as long as I don't get hung up on a tree, okay, I think I'm good there. But wow, I wonder if it's gonna be tight to get out of here. This may become more acrobatic than I was thinking. So suddenly this pretty yard is becoming part of my challenge, but in any event, there we go. I think, yeah, we might bump some of the implements a little bit when we pull out later. But for now, I'm going to turn this off. Now this will be interesting, but hoping I'm not creating a problem. But I don't think I have that much seed, so I think I'm going to consume as much seed as I have left there in the future, in the planting. So I think I'll be okay. So yes, this is the trailer that appears to take seed, because I don't want to try to reconnect to everything later. I'm just going to pull the whole thing, even though I obviously don't need anywhere near that much capacity. Let us go get these seeds and bring them back and see how everything goes. Alright, so I've gotten it back here. I've been able to unload the seed into the silo. So no problems like I was a little worried about. Going to park this again as best we can. So, if nothing else, we have had way more fun than we really want in the last few episodes, just moving things around. But in this case, it was not understanding the capabilities of the Seed Hawk. That's all I've got for today, and I will, at this point, call it a day. I'll see you next time.